The origins of Sax Arabians can be traced to Reinhardt's friendship with Professor Fritz Koenig, one of Germany's most successful breeders and exhibitors of Arabian horses, especially those of decidedly Russian origins. This connection sparked an interest for Reinhardt in the Arabian breed, culminating in his first acquisition in 1988, the Nabe-san Nomech, who descended from famous Russian dam lines through daughters of the legendary Aswan on both sides of his pedigree. A systematic planner, always one step ahead to ensure success, Reinhardt secured a suitable farm near Landshut, magnificently situated between Munich and the Austrian border north of Salzburg in the Free State of Bavaria, demolishing all the buildings and starting from scratch with the facility of his dreams, perfectly suited for his future world-class herd of Arabian horses. Smitten with the Russian bloodlines, Reinhardt sourced his foundation mares from the very best source of Russian bloodstock in Germany, Sylvia Garter-Ellert's Gestut Gut Alemich near Cologne. Amongst his very first acquisitions were several of his most profoundly consequential: Sylvia's treasured end matrons Nasha, Narisa, and Namanda, as well as 4 precious daughters of Menes, Marenga, Merana, Menina, and Manasha. Aspiring trainer and expert horseman Frank Spönle officially joined Sax in 1990, showcasing the very best of Sylvia's treasures under the Sax banner of red, blue, and gold. This incomparable combination of superlative genetics and trend-setting horsemanship resulted in a cavalcade of show ring triumphs, including the German national championships for Marenga and Narisa in the junior filly and senior mare divisions respectively in 1991. A year later, Sax dominated the European Championships with both iconic foundation mares, sweeping the coveted senior mare division with Narisa as European champion and Marenga as reserve.
My way to Sax Arabians started actually with a phone call to Sylvia Garde-Ehlert, Gut Alemich. She was that time one of the most successful breeders in Europe, maybe even in the world. So however, I called her and wanted to start for her, to train, to work at the farm. I was probably around 22 that time. So I called her and I spoke to her and she said, Frank, look, my farm is a nice little farm, but I don't want to have a training stable, it's private. But I have a new client, he became a friend, who is called Mr. Sax, Sax Arabians, and he lives in Bavaria. So he said, I think he could be something good for you and for him, because he needs help, he needs support with the breeding, with the showing and all this. So she said, give me a day, I talked to him. So a day later she called back and said, Frank, you need to call Mr. Sax, set up an appointment, talk to him. So I drove from the Black Forest that time, because I was working there for Omel Arab. And I drove to Bavaria, to Landshut, close to Munich. We had a meeting, he had a nice farm, still small at that time, 17 horses. We talked about it, we had lunch, and we agreed on the things I wanted to have. And 4 months later, I started to work for him. I was there 2 years. We had some clients' horses. He had nice horses. He bought a lot that time, mainly Russian bloodlines. And these 2 years, we really went to a lot of shows. We had a lot of success, from European champions to world reserve champions. Yeah, and it was an amazing time. I still have contact to him. I talk every few months. I call him and call them, also Monica, the wife. And we still have a okay relationship over all these years. I continued showing for him after I left, and it was an amazing time.
Team Sax, with their exceptional collection of Russian Arabians, dominated the European show scene throughout the 1990s, with elite contenders that included Nadir 1, Takema, and Kuma. A monumental shift in direction, however, occurred in 1998 with the arrival of an outcross filly sired by the imported show sensation Essteema, Europe's very first Triple Crown winning show horse 4 years earlier. His famed VF El Shaklan El Halal genetic heritage was just the hybrid vigor needed to elevate the Sax Arabians program to unprecedented new heights, resulting in the befittingly named Essteema, a filly that revolutionized the breed on the cusp of the new millennium. Exotically beautiful and superbly conformed, Essteema set the new standard for the Arabian female in a record-setting undefeated run, captivating judges, breeders, and spectators alike as Wells International and UK International Junior Champion, before sweeping the Triple Crown as All Nations Cup, European, and World Champion Junior filly. Making this trailblazing triumph even more special and significant was the fact that Essteema was handled by a young woman, the aspiring Swedish trainer Johanna Ullstrom, a perfect combination of talent and horsemanship hand-selected by Reinhard to ensure Essteema received consummate care and respect during her demanding debut show season.
So I spent some time in Germany in a training stable, and I showed quite a few horses there. I came straight from Sweden unknown, and I got to know Sax Arabians. I think I even showed a couple of horses for them at some little shows around in Germany. And I heard from far that something special happened at Sax Arabians. Everyone spoke about a filly, a very, very special filly. I was not inside any circle of trainers' talks or gossip at the time. I was just an unknown girl, so I didn't reflect about that. And then suddenly Reinhard called me to ask if I would like to come to see a filly at his farm. And it showed to be Essteema. So him and Monica, they asked me if I would have interest to show that filly. And I almost fell over backwards because all the world spoke about this filly. She didn't need me. I was just an unknown girl. All the trainers wanted to have her, but they wanted to keep her intact, mentally intact. And they decided to take a risk with an unknown girl from Sweden. And they gave her in my hands. So I first showed her in Wells. She was very nervous at that show. But no matter what, nobody could beat her. She won and she was champion. After that show, we took her home. We could train her at our farm. And she was my first Triple Crown. And thanks to Reinhard taking that risk, I got the flying start of my career. And I don't think I would ever be here today, at least not in the form or in the establishment of today without him. I would have struggled to fight my way as an unknown, as a female. But thanks to him and his trust, I had a start in Europe. And I showed many, many horses for him over the years. And we had horses in training. I went to his farm. We became very good friends, actually. So it's not only Essteema, it's the whole story around how it started, how he took a risk with me, and I will be forever thankful for that. So it's a beautiful, beautiful story for me. It started something for me. So I'm always thankful to you, Reinhard and Monica.
The success of Essteema brought global acclaim to Sax Arabians, the result of which was increased international demand for Sax-bred horses from leading show and breeding programs all around the globe. In response, the breeding program expanded, building on the solid Russian foundation of chief sires Baghdad, Narav ibn Aswan, Vimpel, Nadir I, and Mirokhan, with the added outcross blood of Kadar, Lavan HVP, Al-Lahab, WH Justice, and Essteema, as well as the Russian super sire Kubinek. Soon, the Sax-bred sires outpaced their predecessors, resulting in a procession of homebred stallions such as Al-Milan, Lamandro, Marshan, Esteshan, Al-Justice, Ibn Nadav, Mishan ibn Kubinek, Al-Murid, Amir ibn al-Amira, and Europe al-Qadar, all of whom have been responsible for the vast majority of the horses bred by Reinhard and Monica in the last 2 decades. Surpassing all other German breeders in total numbers of foals bred and championship honors earned all across Europe and on every inhabited continent in the new millennium, Sax Arabians is universally respected and admired as one of the most important and consequential breeding programs of the last half-century. Since inception, the world-class Arabian horses have not been the only drawcard for visitors to Sax Arabians. The inherent beauty of the landscape, the inspiring architecture of the buildings, the superlative layout of the operation, and the immaculate gardens enhanced by the enchanting presence of artwork throughout the facility have made every visit to Sax Arabians for breeders from around the world an unforgettable experience. The annual Sax Open Days, Easter Saturday foal showcases, stallion presentations, stable tours, and children days, all heartwarming, authentic celebrations of the unrivaled human-equine connection, are undoubtedly responsible for exposing the Arabian breed to the general public more positively, proactively, and profoundly than any other activity conducted by a single breeding farm anywhere in the world over the last 4 decades.
Yeah, with Reinhard, I have a little bit different experience. We never have shared horses finally, I believe, but he was one of the breeders which bought the lifetime breeding of Kubinek. So lifetime breeding was those days were also very expensive, and you have the right to breed every year one mare with Kubinek over the lifetime of him. Very successful with his breeding packages. What he bought, he have really a couple of really good Kubinek daughters. One of the most important one was maybe this Krushinka, which was the mother, or is the mother of Alamria, which is the mother of Magic Magnifique. And yeah, Reinhard was on, let's say, in the middle of the 19th, maybe in the end of the 19th, until middle of 2005, I think the best breeder in Europe for sure, especially with the world-class mare Essteema and also many other ones. From this moment on, he reached the highest level in breeding you can reach. And yeah, with all his with success, we are also creating together in the beginning of 2000, I think 2000, 2001, we managed together the German Elite auction. So, and we sold really good in these auctions, I have to say. This was only horses from Sachs and from Osterhof. And yeah, we was maybe the first one which make a private auction in Europe. But this was successful, and this was really a very, very, very trustful working together, I have to say. There was never any doubt or any situation which we was afraid or was angry about each other. Reinhard is a really businessman, also in his decisions, very straight, but a really gentleman, very straight and honest businessman. And in the time from middle of 19 to the middle of or to 2020, 2005, maybe the best breeder in Europe.
While the heart of Sax Arabians has always been the standard-setting breeding program, the masterful marketing and promotion of the Sax brand has been at the forefront of industry excellence since their destiny-altering journey began with the Arabian horse nearly 40 years ago. The state-of-the-art training, showing, and breeding operation has been helmed by many of the breed's most accomplished and respected horsepersons. Frank Spönle, Scott Allman, Mary Lang, Simon Kelly, and Sebastian Hans, with the physiological and psychological welfare of all equine residents at Sax the highest of priorities. Lovers of animals of all kinds, Reinhard and Monika, in addition to their beloved Arabian horses, have raised and stewarded a menagerie of cats, dogs, and birds over the years, all of whom have enriched the daily life on the farm for all the humans privileged to call Sax Arabians home. For both Reinhard and Monika, the quintessential touchstone of their lives with the horses remains their incomparable Essteema. The iconic matron who carried all 16 of her precious foals was never for sale at any price and has been treasured every single day of her charmed existence by her adoring breeders. The undisputed queen of Sax Arabians, who has repaid the kindness and respect given to her by her breeders immeasurably, with generations of exceptional descendants. Essteema illuminates each day at Sax Arabians with her unparalleled aristocratic presence and her irresistible zest for life, residing in pride of place in the stable closest to the main house. "Whatever I want to do, I want to do it well," is the quote attributed to Reinhard when asked about his decades of extraordinary involvement with the Arabian horse. Having dedicated nearly 40 years to breeding, nurturing, and marketing some of the most consequential Arabian horses of the modern era, together with Monika and the exemplary team at Sax Arabians, the unequivocal response, with immense gratitude from the worldwide equine community, is, "Rest assured, not only have you done remarkably well, there is no one who could have done it better."